Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kei and I am a Japanese full-time trader based here in Dubai. And today I have a very special episode for you. I am sitting down with Erfan, who is a recent graduate of our Global Training School 3-month mentorship to master Ichimoku strategy. Erfan's journey is something I think a lot of you relate to. When he first reached out to me, he had been trading for a few years and hitting a wall. But instead of letting frustration take over, he did something very rare. He stopped, reset his mindset, and decided to learn how to truly let the market guide his trades. He dedicated himself completely to the course material, daily routines, and the purely technical assignments. And his hard work absolutely paid off. Just recently, he achieved a profit factor of over 9 across 50 trades in his rigorous backtesting. It is incredible proof of what happens when you master your psychology and execute a purely technical system with a total patience. So today we're going to dive into exactly how he shifted his mindset and achieved these results. Also, for those of you watching who want to follow in Erfan's footsteps, our new intensive mentorship intake for the Global Trading School starts next month, so make sure to check the details through the below description. Hello, Erfan.
Hello, Kay.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Good. I'm good. Thank you so much. So everything okay?
Yes. What about
Yeah.
you, Dubai?
Yeah, I'm okay too. I'm okay. Yeah, it's been a bit raining here in Dubai for the last few days, but temperature is getting cooler and I can see the sky is more clear. So everything's fine and Dubai's been quite safe. So yeah, I'm totally okay.
Good to hear that. Here by me in Germany, there was nice weather, but since yesterday we do not have anymore the sun, and it's a little bit cloudy and the temperature is a little bit down. Interestingly, before our interview, I was practicing again with simulator. I wanted to learn more and more, and I saw opportunities last week, so I wanted to learn better how they work and how I can formations. Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Whenever that I have free time, I just sit in front of my computer and I run the simulator and I practice.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Your dedication to the simulator backtesting is really amazing. So yeah, let's start now. Again, thank you so much for your time and really great to have you here on the interview today. So first, please introduce yourself briefly, your name and what you're doing and why you joined GTS and so on.
My name is Erfan and I'm living in Germany since 6 years ago. I started my study here and I finished it last December. In the middle of my study, I got familiar with trading and I started my journey there. And I had a tutor. I learned the strategy for 1.5 years. And for the next 1.5 years, I started with real money. I just started with 100 euros. But after 1.5 years, neither I could improve my account nor I blew my account. I went from euros to 60 euros. Just what I could do, and I remember very good, it was my patience, that I could decrease the amount of my trades even though I couldn't improve my account. I started to find another way for me to continue my journey. And I started through YouTube and I watched videos from so many traders until I saw your videos on YouTube and I saw that you have this strategy with Ichimoku and I could understand it, the way that you did the trade, and I found it very interesting, but I didn't instantly start again continue my journey with you. I bought the books that you introduced in your videos and I ordered them from Japan and I started to read them. Again, it was one further step for me to start my journey with you, and I saw that you have GTS. So I contacted you and I wrote an email to you that I was ready to continue my journey with your strategy.
Sure. Yeah, thanks so much for introducing yourself. So yeah, I remember you mentioned also in your first email to me that you started trading 3 years ago, but your account neither grew or nor dropped to zero. You are like somewhere in between, not profitable, but not losing for the 3 years. And actually, you briefly already told me about the story, but can you please share what that period of stagnation felt like to you? More detail, please, if you remember the feeling that time.
Yes, I remember that very good. And it was a difficult time for me because alone, trading on itself, it has a lot of pressure and stress. And if it's mixed with our daily life, not double, maybe more than 3 or 4 times, it would be this stress. At that time, I was studying and I was working simultaneously. So my time was completely dedicated to this. And beside that, I wanted to do trading, practicing, spending time. After that, taking trades. My previous strategy, I was always in front of the real chart, and it was a lot of pressure. And again, more than to it, I couldn't make profit, and again, more stress. And I would say it was completely chaos. And I didn't have any clear plan for me when I want to enter, when I want to exit, when I want to check the chart, and when I want to stay away from the chart. And it was very difficult for me. I don't know how, but I went through a difficult time.
Yeah, I totally understand how you feel because I exactly went through the same period, that frustration part. I was also started my trading journey as a part-time trading, full-time work. So it was so difficult for me to balance first when I trade and when I not to trade, and difficult to follow the strategy and rules because I wanted to make profits and I wanted to really quit the job and become a full-time trader as soon as possible. So with that intention, I was looking for the holy grail or winning strategies, and psychology got most frustrated, I remember. So maybe you felt the same in that period.
Yes, I understand you, what you exactly mean. And it was, as I mentioned, very difficult psychologically, especially because if we are not fit in our daily life, we won't be by trading, and vice versa. They are together, I would say.
That's true. And so you have joined the GTS class this time, and you went through all the course program for 3 months. And what you did was really amazing. So let me briefly share screen. And first, let me share your Excel spreadsheet. This is one of your backtesting result. And I asked him to exactly do this pair Euro USD from 2011 March and 50 trades because I have the stats from the previous students. And you did exactly the same pair in same time period, and so that I can compare the result with other students and yours. And actually, yours is much better. Other students' PF was like around 8, which is also amazing. But your PF was 9.18, and your win rate was 71%. So that was really amazing result. And you get the return of, more than 40%. 45% or something. So this is really amazing result, first of all. I think the power of consistency. You follow one strategy and you follow the rules with discipline. And I specifically picked this date and the pair because the market was trending. So when it's trending, it's nice to practice how you get the winning trades and how you can accumulate the profits over time. And this is one way to practice to really see how the strategy works and make it better. But Of course, markets are not always like this. Some markets are ranging, some markets are trending. We have much more pairs in the live market. So this is only for backtesting purpose. But even it's really amazing that you have achieved this kind of a result. And you are really one of the dedicated students in the class. Let me also briefly share the Discord group, and this is your section over here. You have took all the screenshots whenever you enter trades, exit trades, and you explained everything logically. And the way you trade is exactly how I taught. So this is really impressive. And now my next question here is that can you please walk us through your extreme dedication to the class assignments and explain how doing that rigorous testing built your total conviction in the strategy?
Yes, of course. For me, it was very important that I can fully understand how do you do your trades with your strategy. How does it work? I remember in your videos that you mentioned the strategy must be simple. But in my opinion, that doesn't mean that we won't have to do a lot of work. It's vice versa. The strategy is very simple, but there are always details and there is no end for it. So for me, first, it was important that I go step by step as you teach us the strategy so that I practice a lot. I understand what you mean and I can find my weak points and the points that I have not understood in GTS class. And I would say now, thank you for your supportiveness because you always answered our questions in the Discord as we asked. I practiced a lot and I did the assignments with a simulator. I did these practices because in the real chart, we do not have really this opportunity to do that. And it was for me a lot of work because I had to invest time in it. And sometimes my emotions and psychology, they were there, interfered very strongly. And I had to know how I can manage them. I didn't want to omit them. However, I wanted to know how I can deal with them. So I practiced a lot. Performing the strategy is simple, I would say. But at the time that we want to do the trades, we have our emotions and psychology there present and they are very strong. And how we can overcome that? So through simulating and practicing.
Yeah,
exactly. And I wanted to know how do I feel during the trading and how does it work for me with this strategy. I did it during the class and it was a lot of work for me. Even still, I'm learning. As I said, there is no end to it. And I keep practicing more and more whenever I have the free time. Instead of going through Instagram or other platforms, I just simply run the simulator and I practice.
That's great. Yeah, I would say that the successful traders who graduated from my GTS are the ones that practice a lot, like you, in Forex Tester online, or even backtesting in other softwares. Because the time, 3 months is really short if you can look back. We only have live sessions and I can teach you the format, but after that, you really have to practice and implement the strategy and the mindset within yourself. But unfortunately, the markets are not really moving fast in a live market. That's why in 50 trades in the backtesting, you can do this within, let's say, like 2-3 days. And not only that, you get the result and stats, and you get used to entry, exit, and the stop loss strategies more. And that's the most important part of I think whatever strategy you use, that's the most important part, to just stick to one strategy and get used to it. And yeah, and your dedication to Forex Tester online has been really amazing. This is not your first one. You have done already like multiple backtesting and other pairs, 50 trades, and you're doing this one now. And now you're doing another one, another round, right? So the dedication for you to backtesting is really amazing. And I'm really confident that you are going to be one of the best traders through my GTS course. Yeah, now I want to talk also about the psychology part a little bit. Since you mentioned a little bit already, my approach is basically to let the market guide you instead of forcing a direction to trade. But how challenging was it for you to master that patience? And what is your biggest piece of advice for the viewers right now who are struggling to find the consistency?
That was very difficult for me, a big challenge to know that how does the market work. Because in my opinion, the candles that we see and they perform the chart, they are the emotions and psychology of the millions of people that they are taking part in this market, and we cannot force them to do whatever we want. Even in our daily life, I can't force anybody to do whatever I want. But we can learn the patterns, how the people they behave, they work, they go up, they go down, they are excited, happy, angry. We can learn them and how we can behave in this situation. So it's exactly the same issue as we have in our daily life. So it's in the market. Sometimes we are wrong. It's okay, no problem. But that doesn't mean that the whole frame of our strategy is wrong. No. Even I know for the people who have studied psychology, they say that we do not have a precise pattern for the behavior of the people. Even if we know all the things, we can still have new issues, how the people behave. Through simulating, I practice this ideology, I would say, that I have to surrender to the chart. Okay, if I lose, so I keep it less. But if I make profit and the market goes into my direction, so it will cover my losses and I will make profit. And as an advice for the people who are struggling with consistency, I would say 2 steps we need. One step is that we need a strategy that works for us and we can understand it. I don't say 100%, but more than 70%. The other 30% is needed for us that we go through that strategy and we explore it. Because if we understand it 100%, so we will not try to explore more. And the other way, or the second step, is knowing our psychology and emotions through this strategy. How does it work? And in different situations, how we have to act or be patient, or by different patterns, how much stop loss in pips we have to consider, and which combination of the confirmations or whatever we have to enter the market would better work in that situation. I think these 2 steps are very important to keep a consistency in this journey.
Yeah, that's really perfectly put. And I fully 100% agree with you. Yeah, first, you need to have to practice the strategy. But in doing so, because my strategy is totally 100% manual way to enter, exit the trades. And when you're on a live market, you need to check other markets and compare and choose the one to trade. And you have the currency strength chart, you have the fundamental news. Live market has more information than backtesting, but even you need to follow the discipline. You need to know exactly what you're looking for. And if there's nothing that you're looking for there, then simply you do not take entries. But if you remember, this goes to the first question I asked you earlier. But when you are in a rush to make profits, or when you are still psychologically unstable, then whenever you see, okay, the market's going up, then you just jump in the market, right? But now I hope you realize that's not the way to trade. That's not the way to trade with consistency.
Yes, exactly as you mentioned. And upon the second question, this practicing helps us to build this consistency, because as I want to do the trade, I do it for the money. And as I want to take trades, I see my emotions and psychology, and I cannot ignore them. But with consistency and discipline and how I have to enter the market, so I can overcome them. And through my practicing, I did during the GTS more than 1,500 trades. And as I do more and more, I learn more. And it's very important for us nowadays that as I see in front of the chart, I see that, as you mentioned, it's not just that the candle goes up, goes down, so we enter. We have to know exactly when we have to enter, when we have to exit. And that I found very interesting for me, because in contrast to my previous strategy, now I do my trades with less stress, significantly. And as I set the break even, I simply stay away from the market.
Yeah.
And even though my job is very stressful, but I do not think more on my trades. And after 4 or 5 hours setting break even, as I sit again in front of the chart, so I know what I have to do and what I look for. And again, I step away from the market.
Sure. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, you get the very nice idea of psychology now through my strategy. So once they align, then the more you practice, the more you get wisdom, then you become more successful for sure. So yeah, that was great. Thank you so much for your time today. And that was really inspirational, not only for the viewers, but also whoever watched this video. And also for me as well. It always inspires me really much. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. 3 months is too short, as I said at the end of the class. So we'll keep in touch. And this is already towards mid-April. So after you complete your trade in the month of April, then we do another 101, private 101 in early May. And we will review your trades and find some areas to improve. Or I will give some feedbacks on your trades.
Thank you for having me for this interview. And thank you again for your supportiveness and for the information that you provided to us. And I'm looking forward for this one-to-one session again, so we can discuss in more details about my trades and I can learn more.
Sure. You're welcome. Yeah, I will see you again soon. Okay, thank you, Erfan.
Thank you too.
That was it for the interview.
Okay, good. Very nice.
All right. Were you nervous? Were you okay?
It was okay. You know, actually, at first I learned English and after that the German language. And since 6 years ago, I had to study in German. But in the middle of my study, I was forced again to improve my study because I was working with Americans, Italians, Spanish people. And again, I got roommates from India. Gradually, I could improve my English too. Sometimes I think I make some mistakes. It's okay. But yesterday, I was a little bit stressful that I could speak fluently here by hours. But I'm happy that I could do it.
Yeah, thank you so much for your dedication. It was just perfectly fine. And yeah, I am also, my mother tongue is Japanese and English is my second language. But you don't have to speak fluently. I think as long as you get the heart, the pure heart, then that will transparent and transfer to other ones. So, and you did really amazing in the interview. So thank you so much. That was really great. And I'm sure lots of people get inspired by your story.
Also happy to hear that.
Yeah, like I mentioned on the interview, there is no end for this. It's like a mastering the art. It's not like mathematics. 1 + 1 is not always 2. Sometimes can be 0, sometimes can be 1 or 5 or 10. But consistency is the rule. That's really important to be persistent. So yeah, once you finish the next backtesting, please share your spreadsheet or result, screenshot, anything, and then I will take a look also.
Actually, I kept continuing with the Euro USD that you mentioned.
Okay, sure.
And now I'm more than plus 300% of my original account.
Okay. And how many trades so far?
Let me see. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you for your time today. And you're looking forward to connect again in early May for reviewing your backtesting and live trades.
I'm looking forward to.
Sure. Thank you, Erfan. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you.